Hello everyone, my name is Yuko Harayama. I'm Executive Director of Riken. I'm from Japan. With my colleague Wilhelm Bauer, we have the honor and pleasure to serve as the co-chairs of the Future of Work Working Group. Today, our expert member, Jan Ferguson, is joining us to present our work. The GPAI's Future of Work Working Group is composed of 27 experts coming from 15 countries with multiple backgrounds and diversities related to artificial intelligence. Allow us to take this opportunity to thank all our experts for their contribution and engagement. Our strength is diversity, and the collaboration is our working principle. Indeed, we work together to support a collective understanding of the impact of AI on work and to build a collective intelligence on these issues. Our working group has decided to develop its contribution in two directions. First, putting emphasis on the real cases, and second, turn to the future, exploring the concept of living lab. Along this direction, we'll be investigating how the deployments of AI can affect workers and working environments, how job quality, inclusiveness, health, and safety in the workplace can be preserved, and how workers and employers can prepare and better design the future of work. More concretely, in order to advance our work collaboratively and effectively, we have selected 6 deliverables and decided to form a subgroup for each of deliverables, which are D1, use cases at the workplace, chaired by Jan Ferguson. D2, training, chaired by Michela Milano. D3, human-machine collaboration, chaired by Seungwon Park and Laurence Duvillers. D4, bias management, chaired by Marianne Wanamaker. D5, work conditions, chaired by Mark Graham and Anne-Marie Imafidon. And lastly, D6, living lab, chaired by Uday B. Desai. Related to most our activities since July, we have been working intensively since our kickoff meeting. As a major activities of the past 5 months, we have gathered and analyzed use cases of AI application at the firm level. For this empirical work, the experts have developed a questionnaire to query the general characteristics of AI use cases, together with their underlying motivations and objectives, the participation of workers and the representative in the design of development of AI system, the role of human-machine interface, the ethical aspects and the impact of employment, work conditions, and organization. Up to now, the subgroup has received 53 use cases and actually proceeding to the first analysis of these cases. The chair of this subgroup, Jan Ferguson, will give you the flavor of what they have observed and this first phase of exploration. And I'd like to share with you some trends they have identified after my presentation. Further use cases will be collected in the future to provide a better basis for more detailed analysis and empirical substantial guide and best practice approaches. The use case collection will also serve as an overarching starting point for the focus activities to the specific subgroups of AI and training, human-machine collaboration, bias management, and work conditions. Moreover, beyond the scope of our working group, the collected AI use cases can provide good opportunity for coordinating and networking the technical work of GPAI across all working groups. In the meantime, other subgroups have started their work by specifying and refining their work priorities, intended outcome, and action plan in accordance with the mandate, which are for the two assessments and development of best AI-based technical training method to train workers for skills, including for jobs of the future. For the three, analysis of technical capabilities for human-to-machine collaboration and co-evolution and automated decision delegation within the workplace and its impact on workers' physical and mental health and on organization. For the four, insights on biases and inequality generated through AI and the political, ethical, and technical insight on how to correct for it. For the five, analysis of how decent and positive work conditions can be operationally fostered in working situations characterized by increasing use of AI systems. Another key activities of our working group is the conceptualization and setup of a living lab for AI at the workplace, Deliverable 6. Living Lab is thought of as an open space for innovation and learning. The subgroup also considers that the Living Lab will be a predominantly virtual space for global exchange and collaboration, together with one of more complementary physical real labs. For the longer-term perspective, our working group has several ambitions. Our co-chair, Wenfan Bowen, today represented by Matthias Plessner, will give you some flavor on it, and at the end of this presentation. I will now invite you to discover our work on use cases. Jan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Yuko, for this great introduction to our work. My name is Jan Ferguson. I am a sociologist at ECAM in Toulouse, France, an engineering school. I have the pleasure and the honor of being the chair of the first deliverable The Future of Work working group of the GPAI, creating a global catalog of real use cases of AI at work. First of all, I would like to say how intellectually exciting this challenge is. It shows us how organizations are seizing the new opportunities that AI and their creativity offer them. Thus, behind AI systems are birds, elephants, premature babies, diabetics, accountants, energy producers, quality controllers, employees building their careers, mayors, telephone call centers, gas consumers, etc. It seems that in many situations, AI is like a big Swiss Army knife with an infinite number of functions. It shows us also how AI could shape work, but also how workers shape AI. As Yuko told you, we were able to collect 53 use cases. They are spread over 8 countries. It is already interesting, but it is not enough. Moreover, we need to work on the diversity of our respondents, who are currently mostly AI system designers. But with great humility, and not to mention results, let me share with you some major observations. First observations concern the main function of AI system we collected in our survey. Some AI systems create new kind of knowledge that improve global understanding of a situation. Some AI systems generalize and reproduce an existing knowledge. Others have a matching function. They evaluate a level of correspondence between several databases. A part of them make predictions based on data. The latest help or guide workers to achieve better performance. Inside this set of applications, we noted 4 main trends. First, AI systems target 3 different forms of augmentation. 1. AI system could augment organizations by producing new knowledge and completing human tasks. 2. AI systems improve and personalize the employee experience through new human resources applications. 3. AI systems augment workers by supporting them to do their jobs. This augmentation can be the result of a new division of labor between workers and machine, or a good cooperation between them. Second, we know a little bit more about what an human-centric AI could mean. In most cases, business experts are essential to design and train AI systems, and the use of AI systems strongly involves humans. It is never an automatic decision, but a decision-making head. However, the dialogue with the social partners still needs to be built up. Third, the ethical issues in AI systems are not well understood. We ask many questions about ethics by design, and the answers were often quite confusing, except with people working for the public sector. Most of the clients are results-oriented and do not challenge designers in terms of ethics. And finally, the designers do not understand this ethical focus on AI compared to other technologies or industries that seems more dangerous to them. For them, spending time with AI to understand it and behave better is more important than explainability. The last set of observations deal with the impacts of AI systems on the number of jobs and job satisfaction. Replacing human work is rarely the motivation invoked, even if indirect impacts on employment appears on temporary workers or providers. It could also decrease the future recruitment needs when AI systems appear to be an option for some kind of task. In addition, AI system would most often lead to improved working conditions by automating daunting tasks. But in other cases, training AI system can be a boring task, and the productivity gains provided by AI intensifies the work. Overall, AI shifts the value of human work. Sometimes this benefits to experts because the activity is refocused on analysis and reasoning. But in other cases, the AI plus human association decreases the skills needed to perform a task and devalues human experience. I warmly invite you to read our report, which will give you more details about this survey and also examples of AI systems that we relate to a context. We are also looking for new use cases and especially testimonials with end users, workers who have not always chosen AI and who will have to deal with it and evolve with it. So don't hesitate to contact us to help us or to learn more about this global catalog we are building. The future of working group is full of exciting challenges. Matthias, can you talk please about our future?
Thanks, Jan. My name is Matthias Preissner. I'm representing William Bauer today. He is the official co-chair of this group together with Yuko Harayama, and he has some trouble today with coming back from a business trip, so I am doing this presentation for you today. But I'm also supporting William in all the other operational tasks of coordinating the group, and together with him, I'm working at the Fraunhofer Institute for Industrial Engineering in Stuttgart in Germany, and there I am the head of the research area, Human Technology Interaction. I will give you a very brief outlook on the next steps and the future vision of our group. So a very essential next step will be to get in touch with the other working groups. We hope that this plenary meeting today will give us many opportunities to find interesting points of reference for future collaboration and coordination with the other teams. I think that especially our ongoing collection of AI cases, as presented by Jan, will serve as common ground for joint activities with the other groups. And we will be very happy to discuss with all of you how you can contribute to this database, to extend the database, and how you can use this database for your own research questions. The next step in this activity, in the collection of use cases, will be that we will be continuing gathering further AI cases to provide a better basis for even more detailed analysis and also for longitudinal analysis in the future. So let me quickly go through all the other subgroups and summarize what are the plans for the next steps. In the subgroup training and education, we are working into two directions. The first is training for AI. In this area, we are planning field studies and stakeholder interviews to identify the current situations and unmet needs in the education area and in vocational training. The second direction is AI for training, for which we want to provide an overview of the most important AI-based educational tools and training approaches. We have another subgroup on human-machine collaboration, and in this subgroup, we want to venture a look into the future and elaborate on the question of how we can shape working environments and user interfaces for active and very close collaborations between humans and intelligent machines. The subgroup on bias management is currently reviewing diverse aspects of discrimination and biases resulting from the use of AI in human resource management. And with this groundwork in place, we are planning to proceed to working on possible solutions to these identified problems. The subgroup on decent working conditions, they are planning to set up a tripartite negotiation board with representatives from the private sector, from labor movements, and from the public sector to co-develop principles and best practices for AI in the labor process. And finally, the subgroup on AI Living Lab. In this initiative, the immediate next steps will be to focus on conceptualizing a virtual living laboratory. And this will also include developing a solid architecture for this lab and collecting the required resources for such a web-based lab. All these next steps have been planned by the respective subgroups for the upcoming 3 to 6 months. And I think the plans are very ambitious. And I'm very proud and grateful that we have such a motivated and knowledgeable team of experts in our working group. When it comes to the longer term future, we have mainly 3 strategic objectives. The first one is an AI observatory. We want to develop the collection of AI cases to a continuously growing and permanently updated empirical database for any kind of analysis with regards to AI at the workplace. Secondly, we want to push the work in the topic-specific subgroups toward guidelines and recommendations for policymakers, for industrial decision makers, and for social partners as well as researchers to help them shape AI in a way that promotes economic growth and social welfare. And finally, we want to develop the AI Living Lab into a unique global AI showcase. The virtual Living Lab shall be set up as a web platform for knowledge transfer and for transdisciplinary experimentation and innovation in the field of AI at the workplace. We want to offer manifold opportunities for global networking and for collaboration, and it shall use the latest technology to enable inspiring experiences and insights on beneficial AI use cases and best practice approaches. In addition to this virtual living lab, we can imagine a large network of physical, real AI living labs around the globe. These physical labs, they can take up regional particularities and help us to disseminate our work on the regional level with on-site demonstrations, events, and local networking. So thank you for your attention. I want to say a very special thank you to all the experts of our working group who contributed to the achievements and progress we have made so far. And I'm looking forward to work with all of you to make this initiative a great success in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.